What's up, everyone? Hey, Mike Hambright from FlipNerd.com. I recently hosted an online event for members of my professional real estate investor Facebook group, which you can access by visiting FlipNerd.com/professional. It's only for professionals, not new folks, but I wanted to share this with everybody. And today I wanted to share this amazing event that we call the Freedom Series with 8 industry legends. Today's episode is with April Crossley. Awesome, everyone. Hey, next up, we're going to bring in the one and only Miss April Crossley. April, I'm going to bring you up here in just a second. Hello. How's it going? Can't hear you. Nope, you might. Let me see if I can unmute you. Yeah, try now. Say something, April.
There
you go.
You got me now?
Yeah, you're on. You're on. Awesome, everybody. Next up, we have April Crossley.
Okay.
April, great to see you, as always. Might have a little bit of a delay there. Can you hear me, April?
Yep, I got you. There was a little bit of delay, but I think it's good now.
Okay, good. Guys, I'm going to have April introduce herself here in just a second. But for those of you that joined us, like not from the very beginning, just to kind of tee up again, what we're talking about here is mainly we're talking about freedom. I brought a bunch of my friends in that are experts in different areas, all real estate investors. But April, for example, has strength in raising private money, and she has a soft spot in her heart for helping people and a lot of things like that. So it's going to be great here. And I always love bringing in the female investors because we're so guy dominated. And the truth is the women are they're just smarter. Like, let's be honest. So my wife did a podcast. She did Sean Thompson's podcast here, and I listened to it yesterday. I was like, my wife is just awesome, but she just generally doesn't show up. She just like stays behind the scenes. So glad you're here. But guys, we're talking about freedom today, how to get more freedom in your life as real estate investors. It could be making more money, could be, getting your time back, could be all of the above, right? I just wanted to share different perspectives. So I'll be thinking of your questions for April. Please help me give her a warm welcome. April, why don't you just take a minute and introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. I'm a real estate investor in Berks County, Pennsylvania, which is just outside Philadelphia. So I flip houses here and wholesale, do some private money lending, buy small multifamily apartment buildings, and we're currently looking to buy some bigger stuff and get into development. So have some bigger goals, but that's pretty much it.
We all do, right? You start off, it's like Monopoly. You start off with little greenhouses and eventually some of the bigger red ones. And, Monopoly board doesn't have the ones as big as I want, but.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, April, as we're kind of starting off here, guys, I want you to chat in some questions about raising money or anything if you know April, anything you wanted to ask her would be great. One thing I want to start off with, April, is we're coming up here on the 4th of July. We all think about freedom. Our country is weird right now, weirder than it's probably been for most of us. It's this, even if your life is fairly normal, you just kind of feels like we're in this fog of just weirdness. But what does freedom mean to you?
So to me, freedom's the reason I got into this. Like, I didn't want to have to ask a boss when I wanted to take vacation. I didn't want to have someone dictating my schedule. To me, freedom's being able to do whatever I want, whenever I want. And if I want to shift gears and create different things, I love to create different businesses and, just that whole entrepreneurial, I'm always flooded with ideas. I want to have the ability to do that. I don't want to be like strapped for cash and not able to take a time out to do those things in my life. So to me, it's just doing what I want, when I want, from where I want, basically. Yeah.
And like a lot of us, like me too, you had a job prior to this. You were a nurse, right?
Yeah, for 13 years. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome. And then, you probably, as a nurse, I'm guessing you miss some aspects of it, but there's a bunch that like the kind of formal part of it being working for somebody else is the part you don't like, right?
Yeah. You couldn't pay me to go back. I thought I would miss the fulfillment of helping people until I got deeper into buying houses from people in distress. And then I was like, oh yeah, no, same thing. I'm just helping people, but making my own hours. So yeah.
So you've been around for a little while here. I mean, how do you think people that are watching this right now, and, we just formed this group here, the Professional Real Estate Investor Network. My goal really was, we've got Investor Fuel, and I get your Investor Fuel shirt on, and you're a member of the Fuel family. We love that. So we have this group that is limited to people that are willing to make some investments in themselves, willing to come to events, do all those things. But I know that there's a lot of people out there that aren't there yet or not ready for it yet. And we want to try to, build relationships and help those people too. And
Yeah.
so a lot of people on here, everybody on here are professional real estate investors. We generally are asking them how many deals you're doing. And if you say, I'm just getting started, or you're doing less than 10 deals or whatever, like we don't allow people into the group. So you should be talking mostly here to professional real estate investors, people that are probably focused on this full time, doing at least a deal a month, maybe hundreds a year. But based on your experience, you know, a lot of people, how do people get more freedom in their lives, even if they're already real estate investors?
So for me, and that's a great question, because when I transitioned out of healthcare, I was like, oh, now I run my real estate investment business full time. This is amazing. I make my own schedule. I worked harder than I ever worked before in healthcare. So right before, and I've told you this story, but I'll tell it for everyone else. Right before I found Investor Fuel, I was sitting at lunch with a fellow investor who was more accomplished than me. And I was like, I'm going to quit because I had more of a life when I was working in healthcare. I'm working nonstop, and I don't understand how people are growing this and doing this and actually have a life. Like, I have less freedom now than what I had before. So great, I can say, oh, I work for myself, but I'm working like a dog. I'm like, this is not what I wanted. I'm second guessing everything. I need to get out of this. And she was like, this sounds like you really need to like talk to Mike Hambright.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I've never heard of you before. So she listens to your podcast. She's not been a part of Investor Fuel, but she loves your podcast, the Flip Nerd podcast. So I was like, I'm going to check this guy out. So I started researching, and the first time I came to Fuel and just like got around people who, same thing. I had a 6-figure business, but it was killing me. It was sucking the life out of me. So I was like, I got around other people, and just the ideas and things they were saying, I was like, wow, I need to be doing that. That's going to make my life so much easier. I can systematize this. I can do that. It really just streamlined everything and was a complete game changer for me. Complete game changer. Yeah.
Yeah. If you look at a lot of us have read, a lot of us have read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he talks about it more clearly in a book called the Cashflow Quadrant, which is kind of the 4 quadrants for all people. You're in the upper left is an E, you're an employee.
Yeah.
S is you're self-employed. And then on the right-hand side, you're a business owner, or you're an investor. An investor meaning, a business owner meaning I have systems and processes and employees that handle a lot of the work, but I still need to run it. The investor side is I invest my money and I don't do anything. Like,
yes,
money works for me, right? That's where we all aspire to get. And I will say I have some investments in the I space. I have a bunch of different businesses. There are definitely some that I feel like I'm an employee of. Certainly self-employed, like I'm the guy, I've got to do it all. And I have some that are business too. So you're constantly trying to shift from kind of, I guess, left to right to get to that column. And that's what we talked about earlier with Roddy too, was, how do you need to kind of scale your business so you have resources to take your business to the next level, which is now I can hire somebody, or you like you did, you partner with somebody, you find ways to like get more resources in the business so you're not doing everything, right?
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
And that's kind of the answer here, is how you get more freedom in your life is you scale the business to the point to where you can start to pull back, right?
Yes, exactly. And for me, that meant, literally the first meeting I sat in Investor Fuel and I was like, oh my gosh, why am I not partnered up with this person in my market? And it literally clicked like that. And I immediately flew back and basically stalked her and was like, we got to partner up because I want to scale and I want you to succeed because you're amazing. And like, let's do this. And I have time to do things now that I never would have had the time to do ever.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got a question that came up a couple minutes ago asking about private money. I know it's one of the things you talk about a lot. Mm-hmm. And so it was, what's the key thing you look for? How do you qualify and disqualify people that you lend to?
Yeah. So for me, it's very relationship based. Like typically I have to know them and know they've had a successful business and they have systems in place, or I've met them through my meetup group. But the first time I lend to somebody, we'll do a credit check. We'll do a background check. We'll look at their personal financial statement. We kind of put them through the ringer pretty much. And if they don't qualify based on those things, then we offer a joint venture with them. We also screen things like their contractor. How long have they been working with their contractor? Because obviously I'm sure you heard it from the last speaker. That's a huge, everyone thinks the money is the hurdle, and it is not. For most people, it's the contractor. So how long have you been working with your contractor? Do you have a project management system in place? We look for all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah.
And so if you guys have some more questions on private lending, we can talk about that and maybe I'll kind of give a question that I'm sure that somebody here has is about raising money, right? And so you're not generally lending your own money, or maybe sometimes you are, but most people that are lending money are borrowing it from somebody else, or I know you do a lot of connecting people along the way, but maybe talk a little bit about kind of raising money. Let's start there or go there.
Yeah. So
how do you raise money from, other private sources, I guess.
Yeah. I don't broker any money, so I lend my money directly right now, but I do sometimes connect people. And as far as raising money, I've done a lot of marketing campaigns, and I know we've talked about this in Investor Fuel a lot. We'll talk about it again at the $1 Million Meeting. I do a lot of marketing campaigns to people that have IRAs, to people that have interest in investing in real estate, to people that are small business owners, not asking them for money, just inviting them to a webinar or coffee. I do on-site rehab project meetings where I invite people to come in my area and see my rehab projects. And that always gets me private lenders, because people are like, I want to rehab houses. And just because they have money, but then you start telling about all the contractor headaches and they're like, no, I don't want to rehab houses. I just want to make money. So that's gotten me a lot of private lenders. So I actively raise money just like I actively look for deals. Same thing. Yep.
Yeah. You've heard me talk about this before. I used to do these things called Rehab Live, and I did it to find students and people to JV with and things like that. I would bring them to a house and watch me rehab a house. And I would just find a house that was like the worst. Like, if I was rehabbing several houses right now, like which one is the worst is going to have the biggest transformation, because people like to watch that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys this because I think this is a good tactic, is just like April said, use the platform you already have, which is deals you're already doing, right? Your platform is the deals you're doing. People are interested in that. People think we're interesting. Sometimes we're not that interesting, but we are, right? Or what we're doing is interesting, at least.
Yeah.
I would have people come and they would be like, oh, why'd you do that? Or how'd you do that? Or what contractor did you use for this? Or, why'd you choose these colors? Or why did you unconvert a garage? Or whatever it might be, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk about it. And it's just like gives you credibility. And I was never raising money at those events, because I had some bank access and I had a private lender that had a lot of enough money for me to keep me busy. And but people would always ask, like, are you looking for somebody to lend money? Because same thing you said, is like, I'm interested in this. And I think when you educate people, when you show people, you're going to find everybody, people that want to JV with you, people that want to lend money, people that might want to borrow money, people that could bring you a deal and you could JV on it. Things, right? It's just doing what you do, but doing it in a way to where you have this eye for, how do I help people and teach in the process?
Yeah. Yep.
A lot of things will come your way.
Yeah, for sure.
So you've been around a lot of investors and stuff. What do you think differentiates those that are successful and kind of have that freedom in their life from those that don't?
So I can speak for myself and what differentiated that for me. I think success means different things to different people. So for some people, they love being hands-on in their business. That's why they're in this business, is to work on houses and be in the business.
Right.
I'm in this business so I can go live in Arizona and not be involved at all. So to them, that's success. If they're making money and they're still working in their business, they're okay with that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I believe in like following what you're passionate about. For me, even when I felt like I was successful, I was miserable. So the difference between when I was miserable and why am I doing this business, to now where I'm like, let's keep growing. Before, I would have never been like, let's keep growing, because I hated it. Now I'm like, let's keep growing. And what got me there was just being around people that help me think bigger. I don't naturally think bigger. I read books on thinking bigger, but I have to be around people that think bigger and are good at things I'm not good at, like putting systems in place and looking at tedious KPIs and stuff like that. I have to be around people that are like that make me better.
It stretches you, right? You start to say, wow, not to say anything bad about it, but like if that guy can do it, like
Right.
I can do it. I want you guys that are listening right now to, first off, keep your questions coming in. We'd love to have some dialogue here. But I want you to hear one of the things that April just said, and I felt this way before too. By most measurements, you were a success at some point, and probably some of you guys have felt this way before too. Like if it's your family member, your shithead brother-in-law, or somebody else, they think you're successful, but you're like, man, I just don't feel like it. Like I just feel like there's always an asterisk next to what we do, right? And
Mhm.
it's so easy on social media to think that somebody is crushing it, but I can tell you I've known some big name real estate investors, people that you guys know, that on the outside, and I'm not saying that they were lying, but the perception is that they're crushing it. And I happen to know that they're having some problems. It could be financial problems, it could be like their marriage is falling apart, it could be a lot of things. And so
Mhm.
as we talk about freedom here, guys, I think we would be not serving you if we didn't say that you have to, like, don't define what freedom is, even though we have people talking about it here. Define what it is for you. And that could
Yes.
be just like, what went wrong, but something went wrong. So we'll get everybody back in here in just a second, but let's go ahead and just continue. Hopefully some folks will. I want to make sure we're actually live in the group. If you guys can hear us, if somebody can hear us, let us know here. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. If it's just like internet just cut off, probably it might.
It just said on my side, Facebook stopped the live. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. Well, if you guys can, just want to make sure that somebody can hear us here. So just chat in when you get a chance. Let us know. Okay. Looks like
Good.
we got somebody back. Sorry for that, guys. Technology,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So what I was saying there was that, a lot of times we look on social media and we see the best side of somebody's life or the best side of something. We don't see the negatives with that. And I think, at the end of the day, it's just tough. It's hard to tune that stuff out, but you just have to know that at the end of the day, what matters most is you and your family. And if you're hitting your goals, if you're living the life you want to live, right?
Yep. Being well balanced. I mean, the last time Trevor spoke, I can't remember if that was in Ad Investor Fuel or what that was for. And he was just talking about the 7 F's.
Yeah, that was at our last meeting. That was a virtual meeting,
Oh, yes. Yes. And it's just like having balance in like faith, family, friends, finances. And I just was like writing that down on my whiteboard right in front of my face in my office. And like, if you're well balanced and happy, you are successful and fulfilled. And that's what matters. It's not like a dollar amount or, something like that. So
yeah, I would agree with that. It's clearly not all about money. I mean, I think the problem is when you make it all about money, like there's never enough. Like you'll chase it forever. And I think a lot of us are probably guilty of chasing stuff. You get in the habit of like chasing stuff for chasing, it's like the game, right? But it's like, and I do it sometimes too. I'm like in my business, I'm like, man, why do we create a lot of content? I'm like, whoa, we create a lot of content. Like, what is this all for? Like, why are we doing this? Is it really helping people or does it benefit our business or whatever it is? And I think even if it's in the real estate space, sometimes probably a lot of people that are watching this, you feel this way every once in a while, is that I'm doing a lot of stuff and now I'm just doing it because I've always done it. But you have to question, is that even productive? Is it helping anybody? Is it helping you? If you start doing that, would it even impact your business negatively? Sometimes it's like, no, it's not even helping us. So why are we even doing that?
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. Well, April, we got a little more time here. Sorry we got cut off, everybody.
That's okay.
Here. But if you can, guys, for some of you that are bouncing back in, if you didn't yet, share, chat down below and just share like what freedom means to you and any questions you have on lending for April or anything else. She's, I think one of the questions I want to ask you, April, is how do you think this business is different as a female versus a male? It's a very male dominated industry. Maybe kind of share your thoughts, give us the woman's perspective or your perspective on this industry.
That's really interesting. I think we definitely have different hurdles, and not to keep going back to the contractor thing, but people definitely don't take you seriously when you're on a flip project and contractors are saying to you, check with your husband and let me know. And I'm like, my husband doesn't even know I'm buying this house. Really. So just hurdles like that, which is okay. I'm very much the type that I just stay quiet and I will prove myself. And it doesn't matter what people think. I think people are just a little more dismissive of you when you're a female in this business. They don't take you as seriously, brokers, contractors, everyone. And I know as females, just from female real estate investment groups I'm in, we tend to reach out to female brokers, female mortgage brokers, because they will take us seriously.
Yeah.
So we definitely just have to work hard and improve yourself.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, I think I honestly believe you have a leg up when talking to sellers. I think like
That I do believe. Yes.
yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
share your thoughts on that for like the guys that are listening right now that maybe have their wife involved in the business or don't for some reason.
Yeah. I can tell you, if you put your wife's picture on the letter, you're going to get a way higher response rate than if you just put your mug on the letter. Like that's just the way it is. People, females tend to be more empathetic with people and better listeners and more caring, just in general. So, and people tend to respond better when they see a female picture on a letter. And this isn't just like my thoughts. I mean, I've literally had sellers say to me, I had you come out and this other guy, but I'm selling to you because you're female. I'm like, they say it like they made us the same offer, but you're female. So I'm selling it to you because I like you better. It just is what it is. So I definitely think it gives you a leg up on sellers. They're not as skeptical. They don't see you as scammy as much as they would a male. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's sad if you're a male. I was gonna say it's sad. Well, it's not sad if you're a female. The truth is I think that if you're a guy and they're talking to multiple people, like sometimes they're just more intimidated by guys, especially if you're talking to an older seller or somebody else that might be intimidated. And so I think, a lot of even males, a lot of the best males that I know are not pushy. They're just like, you just basically mirror that person and try to make them comfortable, make sure they feel comfortable with you. You got to be very much aware of those things. And if you're just like this, a big, like abrasive, like dude, then that's
not going to work. Yeah.
Awesome. So we got a few questions here, April. So all these about people that saying what freedom means to them. Awesome. So what do you think, we're in this, what do you think what's the best piece of advice you can give to people based on your experiences, those, like how they can get more freedom in their life? And that's kind of defined as how do you ultimately probably scale your business to a point where you can pull yourself out a little bit. And not that you're perfect at it, not that I am, like we're all kind of constantly learning, but we have experiences to learn from. So what's some guidance you can give?
So number one, and I think anyone would say this, is just getting around people that are already there. Like when I meet flippers that run huge flip businesses and they're so happy, I'm like, how are you so happy? How do you have time to go on vacation so much? How do you spend so much time with your kids? How are you doing that? And getting around those people, which I think is what ultimately Investor Fuel did for me, was open my eyes to that this is possible. I think that's number one. So for me, it was first getting in a room with those people and being around those people and believing that you can actually run your business and own it and not be involved in it. And I would have never thought that before. And this is a little maybe unconventional advice, but even after I joined Investor Fuel and started getting myself out of my business, I left and went to Arizona for 3 months in the winter. That's where we live in the winter. And now I tell everybody, if you want to see if you're really hands off in your business, go away, go live in the desert for 3 months, go to the other side of the country for 3 months, and you'll see how much you were really out of your business. Because even when you think you're out of it, I went away for 3 months and I came back and I was like, wow, I have to fix this, and this, because it's not running without me. Like if I disappear tomorrow and I'm in a desert with no reception, will things keep cranking and will I keep getting money in my bank account? And if I have to be here to sign checks, deposit checks, sign tax forms, do this, do that, that's not the case. And that's the level of freedom I'm after. Yeah. So going away for 3 months really helped put that into perspective.
Are you going back this winter?
So we're actually selling our house this winter and we're going away for a year. We're going to go travel the country for a year.
So I just said that to my wife, Lindsay, on Sunday. We're actually renting an RV this 4th of July weekend.
Cool.
We were only going away like an hour and a half, just like a little getaway.
Yeah.
But I was on Sunday because we were like, you know what? I just feel like we're like stuck in this rut of just like our daily life. I mean, you know, again, by most, like, I can't complain. Like, our life is good, but it's like, I need like a shot in the arm. We need something. I was like, let's go buy a motor coach and leave for a year. And she's like, what? Like, let's do it. And like, as soon as Investor Fuel is over, the first week of August, and we're gone for a year. And
Yeah.
so I'll be honest with you. I don't want to like tee anything up. I'll say there's about an 85% chance that we are going to do it. And so my son is about to go into 8th grade. So that's our main, you know, issue is we're going to have to like homeschool, which is
Cyber school,
like
man.
homeschooling anyway. So, I mean, it's
Yeah. What's the difference? Yeah.
so,
And
but
that,
we're planning to be in Phoenix for probably a month during the wintertime. So
oh, you'll be so close to me.
I'll let
We'll
you
be out there.
there.
Yeah. We're gonna just go and leave. And same thing. We just kind of feel like, we're kind of in a rut. And we have the opportunity, and you know, we're just gonna go. And I feel like when you see like such beautiful things all over the country and you're traveling, it invigorates you and really gets the creative juices flowing. Like when I'm out hiking in the middle of the desert in Arizona, and I'm at such peace creatively, I really start to think of things to improve my business or create more businesses. So it's twofold. I mean, it's awesome to be able to do it, but also really helps you as an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
for sure.
No doubt. So, April, definitely appreciate you joining today. Sorry, we had a little hiccup there in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah. And then speaking of scaling, Mr. Jerry Green just came into the room in the back. So,
oh, you guys are going to love him.
Jerry's amazing. So, April, great to see you as always. Everybody, make sure you show April a little love here. We appreciate you. Hey, if folks want to follow along, I know you create a ton of content as well. Where can they go to follow along with you?
Yeah, on YouTube. Just look up April Crossley on YouTube, or Lazy Girl REI on YouTube, and my YouTube channel will come up. That's the best way to get in touch with me and see more content.
Awesome. We'll get it down in the comments here. So, April, great to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you too. Have a good day, everyone.
See you too. We'll see you soon. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Hey, I hope you enjoyed our Freedom series, which includes 8 shows with 8 talented real estate industry legends. How can we work more together? I help real estate investors in a few different ways. I'd love to help you get to know you better. And here's how. I run the Investor Fuel Mastermind. It is a leading mastermind association of America's top real estate investors. You can learn more about it at investorfuel.com. In fact, our next meeting is coming up very fast. If you go to investorfuel.com, you can learn more, schedule a call to talk with our team. The second way is I help real estate investors generate better leads. I'm the co-founder of an agency that we call The Investor Machine. You can learn more at theinvestormachine.com. We help take consistent and high quality lead generation off of your plate so you can focus on getting more of your life back and driving the business. The third way is I have a professional real estate investor network group. It's a free Facebook group for professional real estate investors only, not for newbies. I have a soft spot in my heart for newbies as well, and I'll talk about that in a second. But if you're experienced, if you're actively doing deals each and every month, you should check out our professional real estate investor network by going to flipnerd.com/professional. That'll redirect you to the right Facebook group. And last but not least, for the past almost 7 years, we've created over 1,500 video podcast shows, hundreds of blogs, lots of free training, all on flipnerd.com. You can go there and check it out.